All right, YouTube. Here we are, co-host Wmpyr. Good to see
Hello.
you. Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about a really, really special movie today, Slipstream, with Mark Hamill from 1989. So
4.8 out of 10 on
yeah,
IMDb. Yikes,
wow,
that's
yeah,
low.
that's kind of low. But you know, it. We've talked about some other low ones before. This one, it's love it or hate it kind of movie, and I love it, man.
Amazing.
I didn't watch it as a kid. I remember a little bit about it. We talked about that, and if I did see it, I would have rejected it right away because it wasn't Luke Skywalker. So I didn't want to have anything to do with that. But watching it these last few weeks and stuff, it's been amazing.
Yes.
So I mean, I just want to get right into it. Like
Go for
it's
it.
an incredible movie. It's about a guy that's on the run, and you've got Mark Hamill that's a marshal, some kind of lawman. He flashes a badge.
Yes.
He's chasing this guy, and he's got a lieutenant. They're after this guy,
Mm-hmm.
and while this convict is running around, he comes into um, a territory here where we meet Bill Paxton, and Bill
Yes.
Paxton is sort of like the main character here. Well, I don't know if he's the main character, but he's sort of like the guy that we get to know
Oh,
right
yeah.
away first,
Yeah. Main character.
on a
Sure.
one-on-one basis here with this other
Yeah.
guy Byron, the guy on the run.
Yes.
So that sort of happens right away, and you see that Mark Hamill isn't quite the lawman that we think. So there's something crooked going on there a little bit with him. Did he seem kind of off to you, Vampire?
Well, he was definitely not Luke Skywalker. He wasn't the super good guy. He seemed mean. Very, very mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because he takes Bill Paxton's stuff. Like the
Yeah.
whole premise of the movie, by the way, Slipstream. That's what it's called. It's about nature. So it's about the air currents, the jet stream, and somehow in the relatively near future, Earth goes into this like Thundar the Barbarian sort of like all of the nature takes over, and the climate, global warming, and it sets off just a disaster for planet Earth, and
Yes.
no livable area except for the outskirts of the stream, and so everybody rides that slipstream. All technology doesn't work anymore now.
It's air. It's
Yeah,
you can't see it, but it's supposed to be very powerful winds surrounding the planet, and it's post-apocalyptic.
yeah, so they can glide around on these hang gliders, modified hang gliders, and some of them have engines. I think Mark Hamill's has an engine,
Yes.
but either way, they're sophisticated airplanes that they're flying around. It
Mhm.
is the near future, so
Yeah.
it's sort of like uh, type of Mad Max style movie
Yeah.
with a whole other twist, and the philosophy behind the dialogue is incredible. I love the dialogue of
Right.
this movie. The music in the movie is incredible. It
Oh,
just
goodness.
sends you like it's got theme music. So every time you see Mark Hamill's character, you kind of has like this like tremendous, you know, thunderous sort of music, and then it
Mm.
changes over to other characters have different music. So it's an incredible score.
Mm-hmm.
I like that about the movie. It's kind of like how I mentioned to you, Rambo and
Yeah.
some of those movies, how the music sort of takes you back. Even those old West movies like The Professionals and that
Very.
kind of cinema,
Yeah. Yeah.
epic, like you said. So where we at? We've got this guy Byron is on the run and comes over to this village, and Bill Paxton sort of gets rubs the lawman Mark Hamill the wrong way, and Mark Hamill takes all his stuff. Like Bill Paxton is a hustler,
Yeah.
and he's like, hey, you want some cool in military stuff? I've got the latest stuff. So he shows him, and Mark Hamill's like, "Yeah, I'm the law, so that's contraband and it's
That.
illegal."
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was on my way to turn it in, officer. He kind of like
Typical,
changes his.
yeah, typical Bill Paxton character.
Oh, dude, yeah. Bill Paxton just steals the show.
Yeah.
Awesome. But um, this guy, Mark Hamill, I forget his name here in the movie.
Uh,
But
Tasker?
Tasker, right? Yeah,
Tasker.
something like yes.
Tasker.
He he's totally a bad guy. Like
Yeah, he's
he
the
he
bad guy of
takes
the
this
movie.
stuff.
Yeah.
So Bill Paxton kind of like the wheels are spinning in his head. Somebody distracts him there in the hey man, don't worry about that law man. Let it go. But the wheels are spinning in his head. He wants to pay him back. Like he's not gonna let that slide. So he goes and takes the bounty, which is Byron. He takes him from Mark Hamill, and I think that's where the movie really begins. That's where
Yeah.
we really, really see what this movie's about, and it's not just a guy on the run, and it's not just the law that's chasing him. It's really about this character Byron that's having this um, coming of age experience
Yeah.
yet at a later age in life, something that happens that usually happens in sort of these moments, but he's having it, and he's really seeing like the world beyond worlds. uh, and we'll get into that a little more later, but
Mm.
while at the same time Bill Paxton is also searching for that other world. He's trying to get, because he's talking to the his little girlfriend there in the diner, and he's doing all the little dance with everybody, and even the girl, Mark Hamill's lieutenant, his right hand man,
Yeah.
he tells her like, if we were on a liner, baby, I'd order up some stuff and caviar, and man, like he's throwing all the lines. So he's really throwing the hustle out there, and he's searching for something. So everybody's at a crossing point. I
Mm.
think all these characters, you've got Mark Hamill, the Bill Paxton, and of course Byron. Is
Yeah.
that who plays him? Is that Bob Peck? Is that
Bob,
what his name is?
the Jurassic Park, clever girl, that guy.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So these actors are all having these sort of the seeding the foundation for something where they're all going to change throughout the movie. So
Yeah.
throughout this 1 hour and 40 minutes or 1 hour 30 something minutes of what we're watching, these characters are going to change, and this is the foreshadowing that, because we're seeing a lot of setups for interactions that we have later with dialogue that that conversations that people are having from the beginning of the movie all the
Yeah.
way throughout. It's almost like one of those style of this Quentin Tarantino style, or that where they go
Well,
back, but they don't go back,
yeah.
but they do throughout the dialogue that they have. So you
Right.
have to pay attention to the. I watched this movie like over and over again
Yeah.
to to really get the grasp of it. So he wins. Bill Paxton steals the bounty away from Mark
Mark.
Hamill,
Yeah.
and it but not before Mark Hamill shoots him with something, and I'm still
Yeah.
mystified what he shoots him with, a tracker, or like he says it's a
Poison.
a virus or a poison. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He shoots. He shoots him with it, and then he says, "It's poison. I got your antidote right here."
yeah, but Bill
Packs
Paxton says,
whatever.
"I never believe somebody staring down the barrel of a gun,"
Right.
and Mark Hamill says, "You should this time." Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
But then, like you said later on, Tasker, Mark Hamill's character, actually says that I'm able to track, and he's able to track him. So
yeah. He says like that tracker should be flowing through his blood now.
he
He says something like somehow. I love Mark Hamill's voice, and he's great, great like
voice actor.
tone of his voice.
Yeah.
But he says something, man, and it leaves you the impression. And also because Byron, who we find out that he's like an incredible doctor, he's like got the knowledge of a medical doctor.
That's right.
He's taking the pulse of Bill Paxton while they're having that moment, like they're having a sort of campfire um moment there where they're talking to each other like buddies,
Yeah.
but Bill Paxton still doesn't trust him, and Byron's like, "Well, you can trust me, man. Like, I'm not gonna trust you." And then he even like takes the knife and puts it in under the sleeping bag. But when he does finally fall asleep, Byron takes his pulse and he wakes up and he says, "Hey, I'm taking your pulse because of he says something like um, arrhythmia and ventricular tachycardia,
Mm,
something like that." He goes into, which basically is just you would have a different rhythm in your heartbeat if you had the poison in you, which makes sense because your blood would have a different consistency. So,
mm,
um, then there was nothing there. So, I think that the Byron, because he's so perceptive,
yeah.
is he already knows like that's how they're tracking me. But then there was also another thing where, and this is right after that scene. So Bill Paxton gets away with Byron. They go. They fly away. The whole nighttime comes. They have to go to the campfire, set up camp. He tells them, "Hey, I don't trust you." And he says, "Well, I think you can trust me. I sleep with my eyes open, you know." And he's laughing like, "Come on, man. You know, do you always sleep with your eyes?" "Yes, I do." And so Bill Paxton doesn't get it yet, which some of us are sort of starting
Yeah.
to pick up at this point. Like, what's going on with this guy Byron?
Yeah.
He's like, he knows everything. He's sort of weird, but he's not so weird, and he's not a bad guy.
No.
So later we kind of figure it out. But there's a part. Did you watch? Did you see that Vampire where he puts his hand on Bill Paxton's shoulder? He says, "I think we should go help those people." And Bill
Mm,
Paxton's like, "No, they're weirdos. They worship the wind. They're weird." And
the
he
plane.
puts his hand on him.
Yes.
Like, it reminded me of that. And this is it, like, because now we got to let the cat out of the bag. But it reminded me of in Terminator, Sarah Connor Chronicles, where um, what's Summer Glau's character
Mm,
touches what's his name John Connor, and she's able to sense things from like touching him. Remember that where she tells Sarah Connor like, "Yeah, he's been lying," and Sarah's like, "Yeah, you don't need to know that.
yeah.
Be a robot to know that." But like she tells Sarah that. I
Right.
wonder if this guy also has like some powers where he can transfer energy, or what was up with that shoulder? Why did he touch him on the shoulder? Like, did you pick up on that? What was he doing?
It was kind of strange. In a way, you could say, I insist we help out those people. It was all,
Yeah, like he's trying to be human. Like,
yeah. It
I
was
can see that. But
almost
is
like
there
a Jedi
something
mind.
else there?
Yeah.
Is there
I,
something else? Like,
it could
is
be.
he manipulating him? Like, let's see,
It
wasn't
could.
there a mutant in the X-Men where the Wolverine movie where he's married to that American Indian girl,
Silver.
and but she's a setup, and she was really working for the Weapon X people,
Okay.
and like she was there because she could manipulate emotions when she touched people,
Okay.
so she was always manipulating Logan.
I didn't know. I didn't know that. Yeah. Yeah. I know Silver Fox, the character. Yeah. But I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just made that stuff up. Who knows? I don't know. Hey, come on.
No.
But that's why I thought he touches Bill
Mm,
Paxton
okay.
Owens, Matt Owens on the shoulder because
Very
he's
possible.
doing something like that. I don't know,
Yeah.
but Matt Owens, Bill Paxton's character, ends up landing
Yeah.
against his better judgment, and
Right.
they go down there. And right from the start, man, Byron, like he is a doctor. He starts going in, he fixes like a kid's broken arm,
Hmm.
and and that's where he meets that lady, and that lady kind of uh, is intrigued by him
Yes.
and takes him. They have to go find Avatar, who's the leader of this village. They're really a cult of people. They worship the wind. It's
Second arc here. Story of.
Yeah, this is the second arc of the story, but we're getting into where the two main characters, Byron and Matt, they end up meeting a strange cult of people that worship the wind. And this is where I believe that the movie takes a little bit of a turn and starts l- letting you in on the deeper meaning of what the movie's about, how the convergence wasn't just nature, that it wasn't like, the earth just all of a sudden from one day to the next changed. It was technology and the manipulation of technology and man's manipulation of technology that led to the terrible events in nature
Yeah.
that changed the planet. I think Ben Kingsley's character talks about it a little bit. It's subtle, but when he does say things, for example, he's a false prophet. Um, he's not the son of man. Ben Kingsley's talking about Byron
Yeah.
because he knows right away that Byron's an android and nobody else gets it at this point. But Ben Kingsley does, and he says this is the final indignity because the android takes out one of his android um, pieces of his hair, and
Mhm.
he's about to suture the wound and heal Ben Kingsley, but Ben Kingsley refuses and dies, and I think they blame it on the android, and they crucify him on this kite. Uh,
Right.
which is typical of this type of. I've heard this stuff before. There's a really old story about people that worship fire, and but it was like from a long time ago when somebody had created fire long ago, and eventually after decades and decades, each village that this man went to, they had a different interpretation of what he taught them.
Mhm.
And later, students of this man went to these villages and they saw these, completely, I mean, from the hand tools and things of making the fire, just
Yeah.
fire, they saw people that like worshiped the guy as a god. They saw some people that worshiped the fire itself, some people that worshiped the tools of the fire. Eventually, they got to a village where people just used the fire like them and were normal.
Right.
But in the slipstream, we get this sense of how people break off into their territorial or their own so it almost like mini micro ecosystems of philosophy because these guys were worshiping the wind,
Right.
but they were a little bit far off. Like they
They
didn't
were.
want to use proper medical treatment, which obviously Byron was gifted in medicine,
Yeah.
and his perception is just beyond because he's an android. That's the cat's out of the bag. The movie's about an android that's having a life changing experience, going from just an android to becoming one with everything, and still retaining those qualities of his humanity or his uniqueness as an android that can perceive beyond his own mechanical machinations.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's incredible because throughout the movie you get little crumbs or little glimpses that he's not normal. The
Mhm.
quotes that he uses, the phrases he uses, the beginning when his hand is shot with the grappling hook and there's no blood, and the first thing he does is he just looks at himself holding that leaf. So all this stuff, leads up to Byron being tied up to that kite.
Yeah.
And at this point, Mark Hamill has caught up to Bill Paxton because they've got the tracker. So they found him, and Bill Paxton's tied up, by the way, because these people just left him for dead, and they took off because they're nomadic. So they took off. They're in the slipstream in a part that is Bill Paxton even says like we're in a part of the stream where I don't even know where we're at. So they're obviously deep in the slipstream, and they're left for dead. So Mark Hamill, just right in the nick of time, shows up and unties Bill Paxton. They make a deal. He says, "I'll give you the antidote, but now you got to climb up that kite." And remember, this is like you said, it's like 1,000-mile-per-hour wind. So they do a great job with these special effects. Now, this is one part I wanted to ask you. Did you see that, like, does Matt Owens, does Bill Paxton's character touch his future girlfriend on the
Whoa.
cheek,
Yeah.
as he's about to take off on the parachute. He puts on the cool glasses and he tells her something. He's like, keep that light in your eyes, baby,
Right.
and light my way home. Like it's classic Bill Paxton. If you like Bill Paxton, you're gonna love this movie. But like when he, you know, dis, uh, engages the parachute,
Yeah.
takes off, it looks like he touches her, but because it's a violent like exchange with a parachute, it almost looks like he slaps her across the face. So I don't know if you caught that or not, but
Uh,
she's not pissed or anything.
yeah. Maybe I did, but I ignored it because it didn't seem like it
It
was.
happens fast. It's an instant. It's a microsecond, but you see a black thing come up across her face, and she goes like that. She turns her head like
Yeah.
that, like it. And I wondered, like, is that his foot? Is that his hand? Because he's wearing the gloves. Because in the stream, it'll strip your flesh off, I guess. But anyway, he gets up there. They untie the Byron, and they make it down. And what happens next? They get into the. How are they separated again?
Well, they from there, what you call it? What Mark Hamill's character was like, oh, he's gonna betray. So they send the girl goes up and Mark
She
Hamill.
goes up in the parachute, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so Mark Hamill goes off the cliff, right? And then so
Yes.
the android after he's retrieved, he has to go find Mark Hamill, and he's kind of presumed dead. Remember?
That's right. And the girl, she says, like, I know Tasker. He's done
Yes.
worse stuff before.
Right, but they're
Yeah.
they're stuck in that cavern, and they're like, we're stuck here to die in these winds.
Yes.
Remember all that, and so she was like, look, you guys just go ahead, leave me. I'll give you a head start, but we are coming after you. She kind of gives that threat, and
Yes. Okay.
so they
That's how they get separated.
yeah,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
they take
So
off.
they do end up getting separated, and they wander off again, and they make it to this new place, right? Where
Yes,
this is the final sort of
right. Third arc.
act of the
Yes,
movie, where now they meet sort of, it's like the promised land, the people that live like it used to be the olden times. It's
underground.
almost like that, the Book of Eli. Did you ever watch that movie?
Yeah, once. Yeah, I
It's
saw it.
almost like that, right? Like how he sort of meets those people in that village of Gary Oldman's village, and
Okay.
they are sort of nice. That Tom Waits is charging his battery, and it's sort of civilized, but then it's not civilized. He finds out right away, and that's what it is here. These people do seem sort of nice. They've got that. Oh, did you think it was gonna be the Kumite? They go to like the big doors. They've got the big doors.
Wait, did you see a boy and his dog?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Okay, never mind.
No,
But
no,
that's
no.
also underground society and whatnot.
Okay, there you go. Well, there you go. See, and so they do make it through the once she comes back.
Yes.
That's another thing that girl. There's something I wanted to say about her that's later, but we can say it later. And she comes back. They're waiting at the gates. It's literally an underground world, and it looks like just like the gate. For me, it looked just like the gate from Bloodsport. That's why that was my reference. But
Yeah.
they do make it in there, and it's incredible what's in there. They've got like the museums and stuff looks like the 20th century and preserved just perfectly, except the air conditioner doesn't work and things like that. But they're living in also a sort of, they are living in a cult as well. This movie does a great job of embodying the different types of um, societies.
Yes.
You
But
know,
like I think you need to go into maybe about the conversions, because on the outside world, these are specific groups you're talking about, but on the
Yes,
outside
yeah,
world, the conversions occurred where it's a mix mash of people, and
yes,
they're calling the conversions, and you see it in the where they first meet Bill Paxton. It almost looks like a truck stop,
yes, it
diner
is.
truck
It's like a
stop,
diner, right? Like,
right? And there's just all kinds of people. It's crowded in there, in
yeah,
the middle of
totally,
nowhere.
totally.
They all
Yeah.
got there from the Slipstream, and
Mm-hmm.
it is like a truck stop. It's an air
Yeah,
stop.
it is. Yeah, totally. The stream stuff, and but at this place, is this the settlement or is this what is this place? What's it called?
Oh, I don't know the name of
Is
the.
it the settlement? Is that like the mysterious place that
Yeah, I
because
think
Bill Paxton when they get to the wind place,
yes.
he meets that redheaded lady and he says, "Do you know how to get to the settlement?" And she ends up being the lady that takes them to the settlement later on.
Right.
Remember, he says it's a really small plane, like it's seats for two. Oh, I'll fly with you. It don't matter.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like, because she's in love with Byron, by the way, which is a whole other side story that we don't have time to get into that. But I totally disagree with that. The writers, what were they thinking?
Oh
They did
yeah.
an incredible job of making me feel terrible watching that. So they
Yeah.
did a great job. A plus. Because it's terrible. You
It
know,
is
she's
heartbreaking. Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So but it's well written. It's
They needed it.
incredibly well written.
They needed it, dude. They need it.
I'm just being sarcastic.
No,
It's
you're
great.
needed it.
and
Yeah.
and uh and she falls in love with this robot and he sort of falls in love with her first time he has a dream, like his life. So that's why I keep saying that everybody is going through these sort of crossing points,
Yeah.
almost like sine waves. So if we think about the slipstream, we can think about sine waves that are and anti-sine waves or waves that are going in the opposite phase that eventually come together. So when they're at this place, he's fixing the air condition. Byron ends up like being a champ over here. He's not like a medical doctor. They don't need a medical doctor. Here they need the superintendent, the guy that's gonna fix everything. And he fixes everything. He knows all the history of all the things. He's got all the right sayings to say, but they don't want to let him go. That's the other thing. This lady, they say it in the movie. I thought the last time, was the last time. Like now you've brought new strangers here, and
Yeah.
so it's weird because it's almost like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna pour these people in a bowl of acid, or how are they gonna convince them that you can't ever leave?
Right.
And so it makes me wonder because they don't talk about this, but what did they do to the last people? And I again, like they're not it's not like they're bad guys, but they're not any different from the wind people.
Right.
Everybody gets into their own sort of tribal world after
Yes.
the post-apocalyptic shutdown. But it is sort of interesting there because that the leader here is the guy that comes out in the Amadeus movie. I forget his name, but he's a great actor, man, and
Great
he
actor.
really does he makes you feel like scared. Like I'm, sort of scared if I
From
was Bill Paxton.
I know him from Stargate.
Yes, yeah. Well, I remember
Yeah,
him from
TV
the
show.
Amadeus movie, and he was the other composer that
Oh,
was just as good as Amadeus, but Amadeus just stole the show, and he wanted like the fame too. And so I think he goes and tries to kill Mozart, or it was something. But anyway, the Byron ends up fixing the AC. He ends up fixing things, but they gotta leave here. They get out of here. What happens here? Mark Hamill comes over
yes.
again.
Rex Havoc.
Yes, and
Havoc.
you see, like they get to the Kumite doors, and
Yeah.
there's no guard. There's nothing. Mark Hamill just
Oh,
rushes right through.
yeah.
Yeah, I
He's
mean he starts
unstoppable.
shooting people.
Oh
Like
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like it's like, nobody's business. Just
Yeah.
left and right, just shooting people, and then that's it. I mean, they take off on the run. They barely make it out of there, and then
Wait. Mark Hamill shoots Byron's girl, and that's what caused
yes,
the chase. Yeah.
yes, that's what causes the chase. That's
Yeah.
the whole the heartbreak right there, man. Because like Byron was on the downstairs, excited, like the thrill of his life, because
Yeah.
Bill Paxton finally figures it out. Like he finally figures out that like my best friend in the world is an android. Because I mean, there's that scene where right before the kite, where Mark Hamill tells him like, "Your buddy, man, upstairs, your friend
Yeah.
upstairs," and you know, Bill Paxton says, "I knew it. That's why you're such a jerk. You're an android." And he says, "No, not me, retard, you." And then, and no, man, it's terrible. He's free. Bill Paxton tells him like, "Hey, man, I'm not gonna turn you in. I'm not gonna go look for the money. Go for it. Have your live where with whatever you want. Go fall in love with this girl." And he's like excited. Doesn't he start dancing? Like
Well, he's like, might as well join me though. Well, why don't we go do my? Because Bill Paxton had that balloon shop idea, so
he
he's like,
wanted him to join him. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And we don't know what he was gonna do.
No, we don't.
Yeah, and we'll never know. But the the girl dies. I mean, that was terrible.
Because remember, Bill Paxton, the Byron said, "I'm in love with this girl," and then
Yes,
so Bill Paxton was like, "Okay, fine, bring her too. The three of us, we'll go do it." He pretty much
yes.
did that. So it looked like that's what they were
That
gonna.
could have been the future. Yeah,
That
yeah.
could have been. But then Mark Hamill, like you said, shoots her, and then kind of by accident. Wait, what was it? Mark Hamill?
It was almost by accident. Like
Wait, was Mark who? Bill Paxton shoots Byron, right? By accident. Total accident.
yeah, Bill Paxton shoots Byron because he's trying to shoot Mark Hamill.
Right. And
And
then
then Byron gets in the way and says no, and then Mark Hamill does the shooting,
the girl.
and
Okay.
Byron isn't like he can't be in two places at once,
No.
and so he was too far away to shield the girl.
And now his heart is crushed, and for
Yeah,
the first time he's a robot, an android,
yeah, yeah,
and now he's filled with rage
yeah,
because this dude is AI, right? He
yeah.
reached the complete.
But he had that like moment where he broke through the firewall and he can now be emotional.
Right, right. He did that when he had that dream,
Yes.
and the reference to Blade Runner, right?
Yes, yeah, where he says like, "Oh, what'd you dream of? Electric sheep?"
Yeah. The Bill
Oh man, it's Bill Paxton. I love the Bill Paxton voice, man.
Right.
So they do make a lot of references that there, with the way Mark Hamill says how he doesn't have emotions and that kind of stuff. So these androids don't have emotions. They don't get the sarcasm. They don't. It's really weird how Bill Paxton doesn't pick it up at the beginning.
He's
So
yeah.
yeah. So let's see. They end up doing the chase,
Yeah.
and the part where I'm a little hazy here, man, I love it because Byron takes out Mark Hamill's airplane.
The awesome airplane.
Did you
Very
see that coming? Like
no,
he
no,
jumps
no.
through the. That was like a total like Iron Man movie. Like man, he could. That was way better than anything Iron Man ever did. Like
He gets into the plane, into the what is it?
the engine, he gets right
Yeah,
into like the turbine
yeah, he
because
gets
Mark
right.
Hamill has that beautiful airplane that has like one turbine kind of thing in the back, and it's
Awesome.
all symmetrical, like really cool looking. They
You're
all have the most futuristic, awesome airplanes. But he
awesome.
dives into that and just starts ripping it apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he destroys the airplane. Yeah, Yeah, there's an awesome fight scene in that with him and Mark Hamill.
So
But
he's killing Mark Hamill, basically. I mean, it's the Terminator, right? He's a
yeah,
Terminator.
he's about to kill him. And then somehow Mark Hamill now has a total reversal. And I think Mark Hamill was like in love with, I don't know if he was in love with death, but he was in love with the fantasy of death. And he used, like how we've sort of said it throughout the review here, he doesn't really want to kill people, but then he does end up killing people, like when he killed those people in the village.
Yeah.
And like he's sort of in between. But right when he meets his maker, I mean, this is like the literal moment. He's about to die. He kind of has that change of heart, and he
Yeah.
gets so excited to live, and
Yeah.
like it. So Byron lets him go.
Right.
I mean, it's weird. Did you notice that?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Like they have a connection. Like they have a
Exactly.
connection. Like
They,
Byron is almost like picking it up. Remember, he picks things up, man. Like he's psychic, but he's not psychic because he's so perceptive. He's AI. He's
yeah.
able to perceive.
It's a supercomputer. And yeah,
Yeah,
Mark Hamill at this point says something like, through the eyes of God or something. So that made Byron think, oh, I got to be able to.
he
Part of being human is
he
forgiving.
he says, and I reached out my hand and touched the face of God. He says
Oh,
something
that's
like that, and
okay.
he's reaching his hand out and he touches Byron.
That's yeah.
And that is because at the beginning of the movie, Byron himself was reaching out and
Mm,
touching the hand of God.
hmm.
But what he ends up doing is catching that leaf, where I tell you that God knows the trajectory of every leaf that falls. That's a saying. It's
Right.
not, I mean, I didn't make up that saying. Somebody made it up.
Yeah.
And he has that moment, the grappling hook goes through him. So that for me is the real jewel, the capstone of the movie.
Mm,
Everything that else that happens afterwards is like bonus material,
right.
which is the happy part. Mark Hamill totally dies, but he's vindicated, and I think he goes to heaven like the way Raul
Yeah.
goes to heaven, because he's like, yeah, we're gonna make it. Like he's so excited, like yeah, and he's got that like that Return of the Jedi, like
Yeah.
happy sound. You hear the voice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes, you hear it. And he's dead. You never see him again. So he's literally dead.
Yeah.
The Byron comes out covered in char. It's just black, like soot all over himself, and his clothes, his awesome suit. He's always dressed in this awesome suit that never gets damaged. It's finally ripped apart, and this is where he tells Bill Paxton something like, I don't know what he says. Like, he's ready to.
Right. I had to drop him off or something.
That's right. He said
Yeah.
something like something. He finally like gets you know, the hang
Sarcastic.
of getting jokes. Yeah, he's kind of like kicking it into gear with being like a cool dude, and he takes off, man. He packs it up. He's dressed in like cool threads afterwards. He's not wearing the suit. He's dressed in like just normal clothes with a backpack, and he takes off to the west. It's always the west. So he's going off over there to Book of Eli land where they can rewrite the book or whatever they're doing. And I love it how Bill Paxton says, "There goes my best friend,"
Yeah.
but he gains a whole awesome other friend who is his like girlfriend,
Yeah.
and she had been wanting somebody just like Bill Paxton throughout the whole beginning of the movie. There's even a scene where Mark Hamill is like asleep, and he's asleep on her shoulder, and she's flying the airplane, and she's like looking, and she's like kind of like pissed because it's almost like she's like doing all the work, and now maybe with Bill Paxton she's got somebody that both of them can share the load together, and
Mm.
they go off to the balloon land because Bill Paxton wanted to make balloons. And I love also how right away Byron picks it up because now we can talk about how he's an android.
Yeah.
right away he picks it up where they go to Bill Paxton's house and he says, "What was it like growing up here?" And Bill Paxton still doesn't trust him. He says, "What if I grew up here and I didn't tell you I did or I didn't?" You know,
Yeah.
and it's like really cool because that guy is trying to just be human. And right away he just changes the subject from like nothing. He's like, "Oh, well, it's a terrific place." Like it's almost like, remember Star Trek of the Next Generation, like that guy. They had an android on there. Yes.
Data for sure. For
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
forerunner of Data. 100.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it, man. That's pretty much the movie in a nutshell. It starts out where Byron's on the run. He's having this like moment where he sees God in the metaphorical sense,
Right.
and at the very end of the movie, he comes full circle and he knows that God's inside him because he's also one of God's children because he was created by his mentor who he ended up being the caretaker of, and when the guy wanted to die, he helped him. It was assisted death like Dr. Kevorkian style, and the end of that. And that was it. He becomes his own man, and I
Yeah.
think that's the message of the movie.
Yes. Yes. There was a scene where I believe at the end he said, "I'm too dangerous to be human." And Bill Paxton's kind of like, "Are you kidding? That's what humans are." Kind of like, he doesn't say it, but it's pretty much like, we are a dangerous species.
Yes,
Join
yes.
the club, but you're finally in.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's full circle.
Yeah.
Like he makes it and he kind of goes off, and that there's any scenario that you can create after
Yeah.
that when he's walking on that cliff. It's just so awesome.
Yeah.
His send off. Yeah. I love it. It's a great movie, and the music, it's epic. They've
Yeah.
got awesome 80s music. It's definitely one to check out over and over again.
Yes.
Highly, highly recommend it, man. Thanks for telling me about it, Wmpyr. That was awesome,
My
man.
pleasure.
Yeah. Well, stick around for part two where we talk about what's next here on Wmpyr's channel.
Well, we'll continue with a Slipstream. We'll talk about different stuff on my channel, but you also put it up on yours, right? So
Yeah, yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But all right. See you guys next time. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you.